move on to lab or laboratory. Laboratory also constitutes to 20% of the marks. So today I'm going to give you briefing on the labs for all students. So today we are going to discuss about who are going to be the teachers for your lab, what is the teaching plan of your lab, how the lab assessment is going to be carried out, how the lab is going to be conducted, how the groups are allocated, the attendance for the lab, the briefing, or how the report should look like, what are the characteristics of a good report, what you should include in your report and what you should not include in your report. So please, if there is any confusion on the contents of reports, please ask me the question. Okay? So please ask me the question regarding the contents of the report after the briefing is complete. Next, we have the practical, how the practical is going to be carried out, some tips and tricks on safety, and then we will finish the lab briefing part. So instructors, I am the coordinator for your lab. So I am the one who has made the schedule for the lab. And you have got the lab instructors or JPs. Lab instructors are Mr. Sazali for casting process, Mr. Khairul for plastic injection process, and Mr. Asmizam for electric discharge machining or computerized numerical control machining process. Here are their numbers. So if you want to contact them, you can contact them as well on WhatsApp. So in your teaching plan, we've got course learning outcome number 2, perform the manufacturing process technique with standard operating procedure. So it is very important for students to perform the lab, which means that it is important for you guys that while you are performing the lab, take snapshots, take pictures of all the manufacturing process, take pictures of you performing the process. Somebody, so mic is open. So it is important for you guys to take the pictures of all the team members in the group. Okay. So you should take the pictures of all the team members and you guys performing the experiment. Okay. And then take the picture of the machine, take the picture of all the manufacturing process or steps, etc. So it is the pictures are the
Sir,
So,
you are muted.
so you mute
Sir,
your.
you are mute.
Sir, you're mute.
So did you guys even hear what I said since the start of lab or not yet? Nothing. Hello? Okay, just now. Okay. So just now it was mute. Okay, understood. So as I was telling you guys that for the lab, we have got course learning outcome, perform manufacturing process technique with standard operating procedure. So to basically complete this course learning outcome, the guideline or recommendation is that you have to take the pictures of all the team members performing the experiment and you have to attach those pictures in the report which means student handling the equipment, student operating the equipment, student using the products, student using the tools, etc. during the lab process. Okay. So you should take the pictures of all the essential and important process during the lab manufacturing process. So we have got three labs. So for our course, we've got three labs. One is sand casting, one is plastic injection molding, and number three is electric discharge machining or CNC. Okay, electric discharge machining or CNC. And this will be decided by the lab in charge. Lab PIC person in charge, Mr. Asmizam. He will decide on the lab day which machine is operational. If electric discharge machine is okay to proceed and it is operational, then he will use electric discharge machining. Otherwise, he will switch to computerized numerical control machining process. So either one of them is good to go, either electric discharge machining or CNC machining. So for all three labs, we have to provide lab report. Okay. So for sand casting, plastic processing, and electric discharge machining, we have to submit lab report. However, for sand casting, the lab report marks are 10 marks, and for plastic and electric discharge machining, the lab reports are 10 marks. So sand casting is a long report and plastic processing is a short report. Sand casting is 10 marks, long report, and sand plastic processing or electric discharge machining together is 10 marks, which means 5 marks each for both of them. So for your course, we have got assignment 20 marks, lab 20 marks. So that is why sand casting plus plastic and electric discharge machining is 20% marks of your course. So you have to submit three lab reports, one, two, and three, and then you can get 20% marks. So for midterm, 20% marks you already have complete. And now we are going to complete the lab section of our course, which will be equal to 20% of the marks. So how the lab report and who is going to evaluate the lab report? So the lab report will be evaluated by the lecturer and the JP, and your lab practical, which includes your attendance, your safety, and your lab behavior or lab performance will be evaluated by JP. So JP will evaluate your lab performance, and this is equals to 25% of your marks. The lab JP is going to check your lab report, which is going to be 25% of the marks, and the lecturer is going to evaluate your lab report, 50% of the marks. So 50% of the marks are JP and 50% of the marks are lecturer. This equals to 20% of the marks. So make sure that you have performed the experiment, make sure that you are attentive in the class for the lab, and make sure you are following the safety requirements. So here is a distribution of the marks. Today I am going to give you briefing. So today I will be doing the attendance. In sand casting, plastic processing, and electric discharge machining, the JP is going to take your attendance. The lab report will be checked by the lecturer. The JP is also going to check your lab report, and he is going to give you the marks for the practical also. So how are we going to conduct this lab? This lab will be conducted as per the Ketua program instructions. This year, the lab are going to be conducted face to face. Okay. The JP is going to conduct the lab session, and he is going to carry the lab attendance for lab number 1 to lab number 3. Here is a mistake, so make it lab number 3. The lecturers are going to give you all the important lab sheets and which are going to be available on Kalam. So you have to go and open your Kalam and get the lab sheets. How the group is going to be allocated? So the maximum number of students in each group are 4, and they have been allocated automatically in already. So you can access your group number A1, A2, A3, corresponding to your name, and each group has got 1, 2, 3, and 4 number of students. So the group allocation has been made, and if you want to look at your group allocation more closely, then you can go to Kalam. Okay, you go to Kalam, you go to your laboratory management, and in laboratory management, you can open this Excel sheet BTD1143 lab schedule and groupings. So in this lab Excel sheet, the lab schedule has been defined and the group has been defined also. So what is the lab schedule? The lab are going to start from week number 8. So your first lab is going to be conducted next week because this week Thursday is Vesak day, so it is a holiday. So the lab will be conducted in week number 8. The first lab 11th of May 2023. Okay. So those students who belong to group number A1, A2, and A3, they are going to go to Mr. Sazali lab, which is the casting lab, on 8th of week 11th of May. Those students who belong to group A7, A8, and A9, they're going to Mr. S. Nizam lab, which is the machining lab, on 8th week 11th of May. So in this way, you are going to complete 3 labs. These groups are going to be distributed in such a way that you are going to complete each week each lab, and 3 labs will be conducted. After you have completed the labs in week 8, 9, and 10, you are going to submit your report on week number 11 and week number 12. So in week number 11 and week number 12, you are going to submit your lab reports. So the submission of lab reports is available on Kalam. So what you do is you go to Kalam and you go and you can see the submission of lab report, which is the casting lab report is like this, and the plastic and machining lab report is like this. It means that you have to submit casting report separately. Casting lab report you have to submit separately in week number 11. And in week number 12, you have to combine plastic and machining labs together and submit them together. Submit both lab sheets, plastic processing and machining together in week number 12. If you want to know the location of lab, then I provided a small map of the location of lab. So you can consult this lab and go to the lab on the scheduled date and scheduled time. So this is the lab schedule, attendance and punctuality. So as I said that attendance will be taken by the lab GP, and they are going to give you marks according to your punctuality. It is recommended that first you guys see the lab, what is the location of lab, so that on the lab day you are not late. Okay, that's very very important because last time the JP complained that 50% of the class 50% of the class come late, usually around 2:15. This is not recommended. Please be at the lab at 1:55. Because GPs are going to take the attendance and they will write late in front of attendance. So please go to the lab 5 minutes before. So last year JP complained that student come 15 to 30 minutes late. So the attendance was not counted for those students. So the location of the lab has been given. So if you are entering mechanical by main road, so from main road you are going to take your first left, and as you take your first left, you go at the end of the road, then take your first left again, then take your first left again. And I have seen a lot of students, they park their motorbikes here. So once you park your motorbikes, you can go, and for the machining lab, take your first left, and for plastic processing, take your first right for plastic processing. And if you are going for casting lab, then go to the second last alley or second last street, and the first door or the first main door is the casting lab. So here is a Google Street map. So, as recommended and as consulted by the lab instructor, they have told me that for this year, all students should wear safety shoes. If you do not wear safety shoes, then it is not allowed for you to enter the lab. You have to ask the JP about the safety guidelines, but they have told me that safety shoes is important. Uh, Wearing your jacket is recommended. Jacket wearing is recommended. uh, all students need to sign the lab sheet safety instructions. So in the lab sheets which have been provided to you on Kalam, if you open the lab sheets, then there is acknowledgement of the lab safety and punctuality rules. So you all have to write your name, okay, in the report, and then you have to get signature by the JP. Without this, the lab report will not be counted. So lab report should be signed by the PIC, the safety sheet. So what you need to do is you have to go to Kalam, open Kalam, go to lab sheets. Okay, so this is the lab. This is the lab sheets. Open this folder. Once you open this folder, you will find three labs together: metal casting, plastic processing, and CNC. Open casting. Once you open casting lab, this lab sheet is going to open. All students, only the group leader. So the group leader needs to print this report. Group leader needs to print the report and bring it on lab day. Okay. So it is important for you to print this report and bring it on lab day so that you can get signature on the safety. So you scroll down. Okay. This is safety rules in casting lab. manufacturing process. So simple guidelines are given, such as you should operate machines with the help of technical staff only. Okay, for more preparation, student should wear the lab coat or apron. We will come to this apron or lab coat later on. Okay, to prevent clothes from being embedded with sand. So wear safety shoes. Minimum leather shoes or safety shoes is important. So these are the guidelines which all students should read based on their responsibility. Write down your name, metric ID, safety shoes, check-in, check-out time, and then sign the lab sheet. And then the PIC or the lab in charge, he is going to sign your sheet. Once he sign your sheet, then you can basically submit your lab report. This is the title page of the lab report in which you should mention your group number. Which group number? The group number which is given here. You should mention this group number. So please mention your group number in the lab report. So let's talk about lab sheets. So as I told you, the lab sheets can be accessed from Kalam. Just now I show you the lab sheet being accessed from Kalam. So please print one copy of each lab sheet by the group leader, and then you should fill it during the lab. So if you open lab sheets and you go down, then you can see that there are some filling the blanks. Okay, you've got some checklists which are available. You have to fill these filling the blanks during the lab. Okay, what are the tools which has been used? So you need to list down all the tools which the JP has used. You need to write down the names of all the tools which are used during the manufacturing process. You need to write down the type of sand which is used, the type of raw material that you're going to use, how much quantity you have used it, and what was the purpose of it during the sand casting process. So you have to print this report and fill this report during the lab times or during the time when the lab is conducted. One person should fill the report, and the other person he should take the pictures of each process. So one person should be assigned to fill the report, and the other person is going to note down how much time it takes to perform one operation. So please note down the sand casting processing steps, how much time it takes to perform each step, and then you have to take the picture of the process and put it down like this. Later on, we have to calculate the total time which was used to conduct the sand casting lab. Next, if you move down, then you have to draw the product. Basically, if you don't draw, if you take the picture of the product, then you can paste different angles of the picture of the product as well. So just take snaps of product which you have made in different angles, and then you can paste it here in the lab sheet. Once your sand casting has been performed, then what will happen is that you will see some different types of defects which are from cracks, skins, different skins, shrinkage, etc. So what you need to do is you need to take a picture of these snaps. Okay, take the picture of these and then put them in the table, and then ask JP what should be the recommended technique to prevent this defect from occurring. Okay, so you should fill this table as well. After you have complete the lab sheets, then you have to basically write down some introduction of the lab. The raw materials you have already included in the lab sheet, so no need. Process tools you have already included in the lab sheet, so no need. Machine and the application. So you have to give information about the furnace Furnace which is used in sand casting process, what is its consumption, energy consumption, what is the make, is it US make, China make, etc. Take a picture of this furnace, okay, and machine specification, machine specs. So get information about the machine, okay, for sand casting. Then this process setting, product defects, etc. They are already in the lab sheet. Okay, so if you fill this, then this part is also covered. Conclusion and lesson learned, you have to write this down yourself, and references you have to write down yourself. Then you have to answer these two questions. Okay. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of these two. Once you have completed the report, then you have to submit the report in Word or PowerPoint format, no problem. If it is in, sorry, PDF format, if it is in PDF, no problem. So this is how you need to complete the report. And this part is for lecturer, okay. And this part lecturer is going to basically fill and complete. So this is not for you to fill. You have to make the report based on the lab sheet which is given to you. So don't forget to print the report before you come to the lab. Wear your safety shoes and take pictures as much as you can. If you want, you can put the picture of all person performing the lab. Okay. Don't forget to get the safety sheet signed. Okay. The PIC is going to sign and chop the safety sheet for you guys with all the names of the students which are mentioned, and then you can submit the lab report as per requirement and as per procedure. So the report should be submitted within 2 weeks. So in week number 11 or 12, you are going to submit the lab report. In the lab report, you need to include the objective of the lab report, the problems which we have seen in the lab sheet already, the factors that contribute to metal casting process, the steps which are taken to perform the metal casting, and what is the outcome or what is the final product, what it looks like, what are the characteristics of the final product, something that you should mention in your lab report for all casting, for all plastic, and for all ADM and CNC machining. Please do not copy paste from each other, because I have seen that some student they copy paste the picture of the machine also from their own friends. So what happen is that if you see the picture, you can see that two pictures are same, because one person cannot take the picture from the same angle. So we can easily identify or detect that this picture has been copied from another student. Okay. So make sure you take your camera, take as much pictures as you can, and later on you can arrange the pictures according to the lab report guidelines, etc. But make sure not to copy paste pictures. So mention your group number, group section in the title page. Okay. Please mention all the details in the title page. Only the group leader, only one person, the group leader, he is going to submit the lab report. Lab report number one and lab report number two and three. Not all the students need to submit the lab report. How we are going to check your report? We are going to check the report based on the lab sheet which has been provided, and then we are going to check whether you have mentioned the objectives, you have break down the problems, you have done the analysis, you have done the steps of process, and you have given the final product outcomes, etc. So I'm going to give you an example of all of these steps: objective, breakdown, analysis, steps, and outcomes in the next slides. So Yeah. So we move on. So as I told you, please mention with the help of GP, with the help of lab instructor, please fill the checklist. Please fill the tools which are used in the process. Please fill the raw materials which are used in the process. How much raw material was used in terms of kg, in terms of number, and what was the purpose of raw material? What is the purpose of sand? Or what is the purpose of boron carbide? What is the purpose of boric acid, etc. Next is process time sheet. So take the picture of the process and how much time it takes to complete that process. Please mention that. Take the pictures of the final product, okay, and take the picture of the inspection that you are going to carry out for the product. What are the defects which were observed? Take the help of JP. Ask JP, this is my product, how it looks like. Please tell me what is this defect and why this defect occurred. So the JP will definitely tell you why this defect occurred and how we can countermeasure it, how we can solve this defect from not occurring again and again. So make sure you answer all the questions which are given in the lab sheet. So this was a briefing on the lab sheets which are given to you so that you can fill, print and fill and get signature from the PIC or JP. So here is an example of what I told you about the rubrics. So you can see the student has mentioned the objectives. So in the rubrics, objectives have been mentioned. Number two, you can see the problems. So the person or the student has put the final image of the product. Okay, this is the product image, and then he has put the what are the problems which have occurred in the sand casting process. Then what are the factors that contribute to the quality of sand casting? So he has mentioned each factor separately as well. So this is the analysis part. This is the outcome or the final product. So the result or outcome has been mentioned. These are all the steps. Okay. This is plastic processing, and in plastic processing, you can see the computer and you can see the software. So make sure that you take picture of the software that is used to control the process parameter. Process parameter means pressure, injection temperature, injection time, etc. All of these are mentioned in this picture. So make sure that you take the picture of all the processing steps. So this is the processing steps pictures given. And then this is another problems which has been identified. So as I said that all group members participation should be seen. So this is a student. He or she has worn an apron and he has worn necessary protective equipment such as gloves, helmet, shield. So you should mention the names of all the personal protective equipment PPE. Please mention that in your report. Please take pictures of yourself doing the experiment. So this is picture of the person he is doing the experiment. Okay. Take necessary pictures of all the steps, but you should there are no captions in the images. Okay, so please mention some captions in the images. This is the team member wearing the safety equipment. This is the final product. This is the mold cavity. Okay, this is the GP inspecting the mold cavity. This is the sand being reclaimed. So please mention the captions below each picture. So if this is your picture, then I recommend you put caption, a small description of the process. And also you can see that Here they put a small table. Okay, so they have made a small table in the Microsoft Word. Okay, and then they have put the picture here and description here. So you can do the same in Microsoft Word also. So just open Microsoft Word. Okay. So when you are basically preparing your lab sheet, then insert table from here. Then you can adjust your column width, serial number, take the picture of the product, picture like this, and put it in the required area, and then write the description. So you can make processing steps table like this. You can make defect table like this. You can make raw material table like this. Okay. So using a table, you can arrange all your data, all your snacks, all your pictures. So these are very good reports, and these reports are secured 95% plus marks. In this picture, what you see in this picture, these reports were the best, and they secured very good marks. So this is an example of CNC, electric discharge machining. This is a product which has been made. So this is the machine picture. So take the picture of the whole overall view of the machine also. Take the overall view of the machine also. Take the picture of the specs of the machine, specifications. The specifications are maybe sometimes put here. This is the name of the machine, or there is a specification plate which is attached to the machine. So take a picture of the specification plate also, and mention the specification, overall machine, the caption, the make, okay, model. So this machine is AQ55L. So mention all of these important information. So here is an example of a report. This is a report of a student, and you can see this is electric discharge machining report. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is a 6-page report. And you can see that in this report, there is no picture. There are no group members performing the experiment. There is no image of the machine. There is no image of the raw material. There is no image of the software or machine software. No image of the defect. No tools, nothing. It is simply copy paste from internet. So such report are going to get 10 out of 100 marks. These 10 marks are courtesy. These are courtesy marks. Okay. So this is meaningless and unmeaningful report which has no use for our subject. It means that the student perhaps did not go to the lab and did not even take a single picture during the laboratory session. So please avoid these types of reports in our class. So here is an example of a bad image. Okay, this is a very know unclear image. So avoid putting unclear images. There is no figure caption. So please add figure captions in the pictures. The reference are very less, just one or two reference. So this is also a little bit incorrect. So in the plastic processing, maybe you have to mention the process parameters. So please mention the units of process parameters. In our midterm also, for question number 2, part A and part C, all the answers were correct, but unit not mentioned. In the bending part, the unit was not mentioned by the student. So in part number A, it was all ratios, so there was no unit. In part number A, the rolling process, there was no need for unit. But for bending process, students should mention the millimeter, AB, bending allowance millimeter, and the force, which was newtons. So unit some students did not mention, majority of students mentioned. So I appreciate the majority of students who have mentioned the units. I appreciate that. So please, I would like you to remind that please put the units also. Then you can see that the figures are not formatted well. As I told you, you should open MS Word, make a table, and arrange the figures correctly. Some size are different, some size are not different. This does not look pleasing. This does not look correct. Okay? So please format your figures correctly. So all the additional details for the report, they are available on Kalam. Okay. So the lab schedule, the today's briefing slides, they have been added on Kalam already. Okay. All the safety, punctuality information, lab sheets are available. Submission guidelines are available on Kalam, and where you should submit your lab report it is also available on Kalam. So now you have to go next week, do the lab, write the report, make a nice report, take as many pictures as you can, make a nice table of pictures and the processing steps that affects the outcome, the conclusion, etc. And make a nice report, and I can guarantee that you can get 80 to 95% marks in lab also. So many students have achieved 90% marks in midterm and 80% marks in midterm. I can guarantee that if you do these lab reports with the best of intentions, then you can get good marks in lab report also. So I would suggest that for today's session, briefing session, please mark your attendance. So go to Kalam now. You can go to Kalam now. Go to lab, and in the lab, you go to lab attendance. In the lab attendance, you can do the attendance for today, and you can mark your attendance for today also. Okay. And so today's briefing attendance on Kalam, and the lab number 1, 2, and 3 will be by JP. So please don't forget to mark your attendance today. Please mark your attendance. That's it. This is all about laboratory lab, which is 20% of your marks. Make sure to wear safety shoes. Make sure to be punctual because JP has told me they will cut the marks if you are not punctual. So make sure you are punctual, make sure you have the lab shoes, safety shoes. If you want to wear the jacket, then that is also more recommended. Make sure to take all the pictures, you should have all the data, and the group leader should print the report and then take it to the lab and then get sign on the safety sheet, get signature on the safety sheet, and then get it verified by the PIC or the JP. So this was all about lab briefing today. If you have any questions, I'm open to questions.